Yo, what's good? Maximus here. Oh boy. And so it begins, ladies and gentlemen. You know, sometimes I told you so just doesn't quite cut it. And this is one of those moments. You know, you see this up here. Now, I watched the conference yesterday. I actually sat and watched it, and it was making me ring my brain listening to Trump's ramblings. But the thing is that at the end of the day, Trump is basically starting to usurp his authority city by city. And if you notice, when he did his speech, when he spoke about all of the gangs of youth running rampant through DC, all of the gangs of youth, all of the crazy, depraved, and homeless, and all these other kind of motherfuckers that is out there doing whatever the fuck. I just was like, wow. He got this shit sounding like Mad Max out there. Now, is there crime in DC? Yes. I'll be the first to admit it. There's crime in a lot of cities. But, gee, Mr. President, did we ever think that in order to truly solve the issues of crime, poverty enhances crime? Most of your policies enhance poverty and make worse the lives of the disenfranchised. Then your answer of, we're going to throw some extra law enforcement in the form of the National Guard into a city? How is that supposed to work? That makes zero sense. You're literally creating the problem, then using the most heavy-handed solution you can possibly come up with, while perpetuating the problem again on the other side. Because all of that bringing in military, all it's going to do is agitate the public at large. And I find it really convenient, because he didn't just mention DC. Oh no, he also mentioned Chicago. I think he mentioned LA. He definitely mentioned New York, my hometown. And I will tell you, what's funny is, in the majority of these towns, crime is actually down to historic lows, including DC, which he said made sound like a dystopian nightmare from the Mad Max movies or something. People, you need to do y'all own research. I will tell you, as a New Yorker, you don't need no National Guard here. Is there issues here? Yeah. But the police are doing, the job they do to handle it. And it's a pretty efficient job because crime is significantly down. I remember when New York was crazy, because I'm old enough to remember when Times Square was a cesspool of all types of shit. But let's not get it twisted. The hypocrite in chief is the same one who pardoned a bunch of criminals who stormed the very Capitol that he is so proud of and wants to be able to show as a shining beacon of our democracy. Even though he doesn't use the word democracy too often, because he's more interested in a dictatorship. He's more interested in making this an authoritarian society. That is what the hypocrite in chief is interested in doing. You people have to get smarter with this, because I'm just telling you, and this isn't a talk down, this is a talk up. On some real shit, this is what y'all wanted. Understand, the only cities that he even mentioned happen to be in states that are typically blue states, that happen to have mayors of color. There's a whole plethora of red states that have cities and towns with tons of crime. A lot of them worse than DC or New York or Illinois. But he ain't talking about that, because that's his base. He not gonna do that shit there because he don't want to fuck that up. He knows what he's doing is bullshit. This cannot be stood for. This cannot be accepted. This is how revolutions start. When they say the revolution ain't gonna be, the revolution is gonna be televised, here you go. Because this is the beginnings of that kind of activity. In a way, this is kind of good for us, because this is going to unite people that never thought they would sit arm in arm with each other. Because this is going to affect everybody. This is the kind of government overstep that contradicts the thought of going against big government, which is what the Republican story is supposed to be about. Ain't that what it's all about? No big government, no heavy-handed whatever, But meanwhile, he's literally contradicting that by doing the complete opposite. I'm just telling you. Watch this. This is this that's happening in DC. This is just phase 1. He gonna do this here because he has to get the stronghold locked in first. Instead of saying, okay, let's find housing for our homeless people. Let's create jobs so that those that are in poverty and in desperate situations are able to find ways out of it, to give them something to actually lose so that they don't continue in the path that they're on. When people have nothing to lose, as human instinct will dictate, they will stoop to the lowest base levels. You gotta give them hope in order to create the society where lawlessness can end and where order can be restored. This is just simply an attack to start the process of exterminating anybody that does not fit into the class system that he's putting up. And it ain't just black people. It's going to be all, like I said, class system. I didn't say race. Class. Y'all need to pay attention, because it's coming. And this is phase 1 right here. So I really hope for my peoples out in DC, y'all get through this. I know this much. You won't see me visiting that motherfucker no time soon. And you can keep your ass out in New York with your little National Guard, Trump. We good here. Shit, the NYPD, damn, they got an army like fucking National Guard anyway, so ain't even no point in bringing that shit here. But in all seriousness, I really hope that everybody gets through. Y'all stay safe. If you're in DC, run into any problems, try not to fight with these law enforcement motherfuckers. Just do what you gotta do. Get yourself up out of that situation. And again, this is why voting is important. This is why when these congressional elections come up, remember these moments. Flip those seats. Anyway, I'ma holla at y'all. Peace out. I would love to hear y'all thoughts below, by the way. Again, let me know what y'all think on this, because if you don't think it's coming to a city near you, it definitely is. Anyway, I'll holla at y'all. Peace out. Again.